Welcome back to Houston Life. Our next guest is a familiar face as the host of Good Taste with Tanji, highlighting the best food and drink finds from all around Texas.
She's also behind an inspiring podcast, Good Taste for the Soul. Tanji Patton, welcome back to Studio B. It's always nice to have you here.
Oh, I always love being with you guys. It's always a great time.
It's not just a food and drink thing for us and for the viewers, for all of your fans, but I think that your warmth, your personality, your experience, your intelligence, all of that comes through, Tanji, just so acutely. And give us a little history lesson, because when Good Taste started, it was online only, and you and your husband, Mike, started it.
It's very sweet of you to say. Yeah, we started it. I left the TV world back in late 2007, and this was already an idea. So we had laid some groundwork, and we launched in July of 2008. Online. I always called it an online magazine. I'm not an influencer, I'm not a blogger, in my mind, and called it an online magazine. Because I love magazines. You know, you pick up a cover and you've got all these great ideas and topics you can go into. And that's what we wanted Good Taste to be. Started with the passion of wine and travel and the food. And it just kind of grew from there.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I had no idea that you were even in TV ahead of this, besides the show. I've just watched you for so many years on the show. But was food and drink always your passion? Is that why you traveled?
You know, I used to produce and host a lifestyle show like this some years ago in San Antonio. And we had, you know, like you guys do, you have chefs on, you have people with wines and things like that. So that, I guess, piqued the interest in exploring different foods, right? And then when Mike and I would have a vacation, as you know, those are very valuable when you work at a TV station.
Yes.
We would travel, and the destinations were always built around the restaurants we wanted to go to. And then came the museums and the sightseeing and things like that.
Was this in Florence, you and Mike?
This is in Siena just recently. We just got back.
Wow. I love that you said you planned your vacations around the restaurants you wanted to go to. So you're doing all of that research ahead of your vacation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we would research it. And honestly, sometimes you stumble into some great places. When you go to Italy, I don't know if they have bad restaurants, you know? Everything is grown organically and sourced so locally, and just simple, great ingredients.
Storytelling is really at the heart of what you do now and what you always have really done, and shining a light on different people and communities and restaurants. And Good Taste has been coming into our homes for more than a decade now. And you recently went public with a decision that this will be the last season of your show, Tanji. Why is now the right time for you to focus on your podcast?
Well, you know, it's a decision that's been a long time coming, and the process started in my head about 2 years ago, and I may have shared with this before. I believe I was told to do this. The message I got was to use my voice for him. So in any event, a podcast, just all these, someday I would love to put it all on paper. Little things started happening. You know, on the podcast, we interview the best-selling authors. You guys know these folks, the Godwinks couple.
Yes.
They're delightful. And they talk about things that happen in your life. There's no such word really as coincidence. So many things are divinely important. And so many things started falling into place in this past 2-year period. And I wrestled with this, guys. I really did. I work with the best team in the world. I am so blessed with our producers and editors and folks that we work with. So it was not an easy decision, but it was one that I knew I had to do.
Even as the face of a show like this, Tanji, I don't think people realize how many people behind the scenes come in every day and who work so hard and tirelessly to put everything together.
Oh, it takes a team.
Right?
It absolutely takes a team.
Yeah. But I mean, finding faith after serving, right? Like, I know your faith is so important to you, and it comes through in the things that you talk about. I mean, that's a huge part of what we got to see on TV. Your true self always came through.
Well, you know, life is a journey, and I don't know what part of that journey I'm on right now, but I'm on something. And I think that's why some of these episodes in the podcast, for me personally, I resonate with. And there may be other people out there in life like me. You know, I became a Christian when I was 12 years old. But life happens. You go through life. And it's something that I started rediscovering about 5 years ago. And it's all been orchestrated. Not by me.
Right.
Not by me.
You interview a gentleman named Gary Harrington, and Gary you describe as the ultimate warrior, and I believe we have a clip of his appearance on your podcast.
Yeah, fascinating man. He's very unusual in that he has 3 distinct Special Forces services: Delta Force, the Special Forces, Marine, and CIA.
Wow.
That's very unusual.
Yeah.
And a lot of dangerous covert work. And I really identified with this man. Had not met him. Cash set up the interview.
Your son.
He knew of him because Cash was in the Army. And we kind of connected on that soul level. It's hard to explain. And I think, I don't want to speak for him, but he's kind of in a similar point with his journey. And you can hear him talk about, he went through some incredibly dangerous situations, but felt he was a little maybe bulletproof.
Oh, wow. Let's roll some of this interview.
Just like, problems like accidents on a helicopter, parachuting accidents, things like that, where most people, or several things where people thought he's dead, but no, that didn't happen. And yeah, I've walked out of ambushes. I've looked at suicide bombers that blew I turned around and walked away, and then they blew the other people up right after I left, although we looked at each other first.
Yeah, can you imagine looking at the suicide bomber and you leave and the next people that take your place
No.
are no longer here?
No.
Yeah.
And we are tight on time, but what I love about this format for you, Tanji, is we're not constantly racing against the clock as we are in live TV.
Yes.
A podcast is breathable.
You get to know people in a different instance. You'll get to hear a lot more of that gentleman's story, personal and professional. Near-death experiences. We've done some on that with best-selling author John Burke. You'll get to see things like that. And we've covered Ozempic. I mean, we do a wide variety. If it's something I think our viewers want to hear and it would make them feel better or their life better, I want to do it.
Timely and relevant. Good Taste for the Soul is the podcast.